Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. My name is Leslie. Welcome to my Monday mini card class. If you're here, say hello. I love to chat with you. Um, Let us know where you're watching from and what's the weather like. We have a sheet of ice outside. My poor little puppies, their little legs are just sliding out from under them. I feel so sorry for them, but it is supposed to warm up later today, and hopefully that's going to melt off. But I'm so glad that I don't need to get outside today. If you've joined me before in the month of January, you know that in January we are learning or talking about ink blending. So I'm going to turn my camera around and sorry about the little big arm in the way. We talked about the first week, we talked about Emboss Resist, and we made this cute little card using the Be My Valentine bundle from Stampin' Up. We did some heat embossing with white embossing powder and then blended ink over that to create that Emboss Resist. And I didn't put the links to these videos, but I will when I get done here. I'll put the link to week 1. This was the Emboss Resist technique. And then last week we made this simple little sympathy card, and we used masking with the ink blending, and we just masked off an area of the layer on the card and ink blended some blues and greens on there. And then today we are going to use stencils with the ink blending and these cute little butterfly embellishments that we're going to blend some ink on. Hi Candy, how are you? I hope you were able to stay home today. I don't know how the roads are where you're at, but ours are kind of treacherous. Bruce went to work today. He was going to work from home, and then he said, I'm doing it. So he made it. He said he should have, when he got to work, he said he should have worked from home today, but he had to make that make that call. I'm sure coming home, it'll be better. It's supposed to warm up, and so hopefully that ice will all melt off. Okay, to get started on the stenciling, I was going to, I'll put my little card here. I'm using these situations to hide the glare from my lights. Otherwise, I have a reflection. This is our glass mat that if you join Stampin' Up! In January or February, you can choose in your starter kit to receive the glass mat. You get the glass mat, the silicone. This is kind of cool. Our little Stampin' spots fit right in these squares, and you can blend ink in this little square, and I'm told that it doesn't stain. And then this is just a nice little texture to maybe rub your brushes over or lay your ink pad on so it doesn't slide on the glass. And then you also get the little cleaning cloth, which I am enjoying quite a lot. And we're going to use the glass mat a lot today with our stenciling. Candy is staying home. Yes, good day to stay home. So I am using a retired stencil. I have a collection of stencils throughout the years. I just keep them in a Ziploc bag over on my shelf. And I was just going to show you some of these. Stampin' Up! Has a great, like I said, today's project I'm using a retired stencil that I already had. Here's a stencil that I made myself using a die. Maybe I'll show you how I did that later. These are so, Stampin' Up's been around. I've been around a while, so I have quite a few. This came in a kit. So here's some lines. Polka dots are always fun. Here's kind of a, you call that a medallion, there's a name for it. Here's a cloud one that I have used a lot, you can tell, and I've used our embossing paste with that. Anyways, you can tell that through the years I have collected several stencils. These are kind of acetate, so they're strong, but like I said, you can make a stencil using any dies you have. I have used this clouds as a stencil a lot. I like clouds. I'll put an alternative. In fact, I can show you in our annual catalog here the offering that Stampin' Up! Has. If you do not have any stencils in your stash, like I said, I have collected a lot through the years, and I did not order, or I have not ordered any of the most recent ones. So if you have an annual catalog on page 136, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to get a catalog out to you. Just message me or leave a comment and I can get with you and we can get your contact information, and I'd love to get one out to you. But on page 136, there are decorative masks. There's an artistic mix and a 4-square. So you get, I wonder how many you get. 5 masks in the artistic mix, and 4-square is up here. You get 4 masks, one of each 4 designs, and one of each is 5 designs. So, and they're only $10, so they're $2 per stencil. I'm calling them a stencil. Stampin' Up! Is calling them a mask. Okay, so let's get started. To make the card, I started out with some thick basic white, and I just cut an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper in half, and then I scored it at 4 1/4. So that's my card base. And then I have a piece of Orchid Oasis, and I have a little sheet with all my measurements on here. This one measures 5 1/4 by 4, so it's just 1/4 of an inch smaller, and I'm going to just put that on the card base. Candy has the artistic set and is excited to try them out. They're so fun, and I always forget about them. And the embossing paste is really fun to use with the stencils too. But since we're talking about ink blending this month, I thought the stencils would be a great little way to show you how to use them with stencils. It's kind of like the old school, I don't know, when did I get married? In the 80s? And did you stencil your walls? I think I put like stencils around the top of one of my rooms. Was it called stenciling back then? It was really big in the decorating scene. You bought the stencils and then you daubed them. Yeah, so this is very similar to that. Okay, now this piece that we're going to put the background on with our ink blending, it measures 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to take my stencil. Now you'll notice they have these edges. So make sure when you're laying it down that you don't have your edge lined up like this. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a white line, unless you want a white line. Or you could cut your paper down after you stencil it, which is also a good idea as well. I just cut my paper the way I want it. And I'm just going to put a little piece of low-tack tape over here just to hold everything in place, because as you'll notice, I kind of did an ombre effect on this card where I started darker and then got lighter as I went over here, and I kind of left a lot of white space. Hey Stephanie, how are you doing? We are ink blending with stencils. So I'm just kind of going over. This is a retired stencil from Stampin' Up! I think they call them masks now. but I showed everyone what we have to offer now. They're really a good value, and you can make your own backgrounds, and then you don't need any designer series paper. Okay, so I'm using our Stampin' blending brushes, or blending brushes, and today I'm going to use a big one and a small one, or a normal one and a small one. And I'm using Orchid Oasis ink. It goes back to my card. And then I'm going to show you a different way. We can, the last couple of weeks I've been kind of taking the ink off of the pad, but if you've got a craft mat or a, or our glass mat, you can just put it right there. And then pull your ink right from there. And then I always start off, and I kind of redid my camera configuration this week so that things wouldn't shake, but it's my desk, people. My desk is shaking, especially when I'm doing the swirling motion. My camera is not shaking at all. It's not staying straight in the holder, but it's not shaking. It's the desk. So I don't know what to do. This is an IKEA desk that I've had forever. And I don't know why it's not very, I don't know, sturdy. Everything is rocking over here. Okay, I'm going a little darker on the left-hand side and kind of using less pressure and less ink on the right-hand side because, as I told you, I'm kind of doing an ombre. Ugh, and you hate it when this happens. My tape didn't hold, but I think we'll be okay. I think we're going to be okay. I reused tape. I didn't use new tape. And I'm kind of working in a V, just to give a little interest. Okay, isn't that cute? Now, another thing I did, let's see, let's put this back on here. If you'll notice, I made some of the little diamond shapes a little darker. And how I did that, see if I can put this all back on here proper. This one's easy because it's just straight lines. I'm going to grab some new tape. I think my old tape has lost its sticky. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, I took a sponge dauber, and I keep mine in one of these containers that I got from scrapbook.com. And I just use my little label maker and label them so I don't have to wash them. And I took some ink, and then I just chose a couple of, randomly, these little diamonds, and just made them a little darker with my sponge dauber. Just for a little added oomph. Is that a word? I think it is. I don't know. There's 4. Let's just do one right here. I always like to use odd numbers. They say odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. Okay, So that's another way to do some of your ink blending is use your sponge daubers. Okay, Stephanie is doing well doing laundry. I am doing well too. Okay, so that's it. That is using your stencil and ink blending with a stencil. I'm going to clean this off. And then we'll put our card together and we'll use our little butterfly embellishments. I also sponged some ink on there, blended some ink onto the butterflies. Okay, so now all we have to do is put that on our card base. Stephanie says she's loving the blue. This is Orchid Oasis. I'm just going to snap this right in the middle. Then you could embellish it however you want. I chose to use our new butterfly, what are these called? Butterfly accents. Paper butterfly accents. You get several, lots and lots. So I chose those two. Wonder if we could just do a card with these little sideways ones. Maybe put that one there and that one there. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a page, and you get several pages. Do I have the label that tells me how many you get? You get a lot. They are in the new Stampin' Mini catalog. Let me look in the back. They have made it handy for us that in the back. So on page 23, like I said before, if you do not have a catalog and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to get one out to you. You get 40 butterflies, 8 each of 5 sizes, and they're only $8. So that's kind of a fun way to vavoom your projects. Okay, for these little guys, I'm going to use my smaller blending brush. And I shouldn't have wiped my ink off my glass mat, but we'll just do it this way. You could also use your little Stampin' Sponge Dauber for this. That would be easy to use. This one I'm just going to really put the ink towards the inside of the butterfly and leave the outer edges white. Because we're going to add a little wink of Stella here in a minute. I'm kind of going for that ombre effect too, like I did on the card base with my butterfly. A little darker here towards the left side and then lighter as I go out. Okay, I think he looks good. He or she, I don't know. And this little dude, I'm just gonna fully cover him. I am ready for butterflies because I am over winter. I like the first snow, it's pretty, but now I'm done. These freezing cold temperatures are boring. My poor little puppies. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so I completely covered that dude. So you could leave these white. You can ink them like I did. Use them however you want. And then I'm going to wipe off this ink. Now, before I put my butterflies on there, I'm going to heat emboss my sentiment onto a little scrap of the Orchid Oasis paper. My brain is kind of I had a little scrap of it. I might have to cut a new scrap of it. I know it's 3/8 inch by, let me just cut a new piece. My goodness. Frozen braid. It's true. And it's Monday, right? Okay, yesterday was a busy day for me. I was everywhere yesterday. So I feel like I've okay, so that's a 3/8 inch, and then we can just trim it to fit. And then I'm using the sentiment from the Perennial Postage. Thank you for your friendship. I thought that was fun. And it is right here. And then I'll use this little piece of paper for to sprinkle my embossing powder on. I'm using an anti-static tool. This is called an Embossing Buddy. It is also in the annual catalog with a collection of tools to do heat embossing with. And I'm hoping this will go on straight. I'm going to be really irritated if it doesn't. This is one of our cling stamps. Red rubber, made in America. You get the best impression with them, but lining them up is not as easy as our photopolymer. I think that's good. Candy loves the rubber stamps. I do too. A lot of companies don't do the red cling stamps anymore, the rubber stamps anymore. But these last forever. And like I said, they give a great impression. All right, I am going to heat this up. Excuse the noise. I'm using my heat tool to do that. And it's going to melt that ink right on there, or that embossing powder. I used Versamark ink, if I didn't mention that. It's kind of a sticky ink, and the embossing powder sticks to it, and then when you heat it up, the embossing powder melts, and you get kind of a shiny texture. I think we heat embossed. Like I said, I will put the links to the other ink blending tutorials in the description when I get done here, but we use the heat embossing on this card for the beehive, so it's always fun. Hey Kay, how are you? We are doing ink blending with stencils this morning. This is our sample, and then this is the one I'm making. So I'm going to just trim a little bit off of there. I didn't want to glue my little butterflies down until I figured out where I was going to put my sentiment tag. And I kind of want my butterflies to be over in the white area so they don't get lost. But I think with these two, since I didn't use the front facing ones and I used the side ones, I'm going to do it like this. I think it looks better than that. I might pop that one up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that off. You're waiting for those butterflies. I just said that. I'm ready for the butterflies. I'm ready for the weather that brings them around. And I am using multi-purpose liquid glue. This is my favorite liquid glue. I have just put it in a fine tip glue bottle that I got off of Amazon. I just like it. And I think we're going to just put a little glue here. I'm going to kind of bend these little wings up so they're a little dimensional. Isn't that cute? And I think I have enough room that if I take a little bit of the mini Stampin' Dimensional here and just cut a small little piece. In fact, this one may be too big. I think we can hide this behind him and make this little guy a little popped up a little bit away from that background. Wants to stick to everything, but there we go. I'm going to put him right there and kind of curl his wings up. Okay, isn't that cute? Makes him a little bit more noticeable. Okay, now I'm going to add, because more is more, some of these purple fine shimmer gems. Thank you, Stephanie. These are also in the Spring Mini, the gems. Now I don't know where to put my gems because I did it different. I'm going to put it in like a little bit of a triangle. They say when you're doing like little gems or rhinestones that it should have a path artistically or a triangle. So that's kind of what I did in both of these. I did kind of a triangle. And 3 is a pleasing number. Okay, and then the last thing I did, and I always forget to use this too, is the Wink of Stella, the clear Wink of Stella brush. And I just took it and kind of, I'm going to use this little piece of scrap, and I just brushed some, and the camera probably won't pick this up, but it kind of adds a little shimmer. I don't think it's going to pick it up. It might pick it up on this darker guy. Not really. And then I also took it to remember these 5 little ones I made darker with the Stampin' the little sponge dauber? It just gives it a little glimmer. It's just a clear, sparkly, adds sparkle. I know the camera's not picking it up, so you can't really tell. But, so that is the card. I didn't do anything on the inside this week on the card. I looked at the sentiments from the stamp set. It was perennial postage. Actually, did I do something? I did do something. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my ever-loving mind. I did a little blending. Can you see that? I made a little cloud of the Orchid Oasis, and then I stamped over it with Memento ink. Good grief. What is wrong with me? So I just took a little ink, swirled it on there, and just very lightly, like a little cloud, right in the middle. This is an easy way to decorate the inside of a card too. If you didn't even do the ink blending on the front cover, if you wanted to add just a little something something on the inside of a card, you could create the little cloud with the ink. And then I did use my Stamparatus. And in fact, I didn't use Memento ink. I used the Orchid Oasis. I'm glad I looked at the stamp set again. Because I thought that went really well with the thank you for your friendship. And then we're going to stamp You're Simply Marvelous on the inside. Stephanie said, oh, Donna Pollock, hello, I missed you coming in. How are you? Stephanie says, what a fun thing for the inside. I know, that's just a little something, something that, like, even if you didn't use any ink blending on your card, that's kind of a fun thing to do on the inside, just to kind of give it a little extra. So, that is the card. And Candy says, do I love the glass mat? Yes, I am really enjoying it. I've been working on it now for about, a month. And yeah, it keeps my desk clean. I like that I don't have to get out all extra things like we were doing the ink blending. I don't have to get out a bunch of extra paper and all that. So yeah, I am enjoying it. I don't know if you've been with me for a while, a lot of times I use this old thing. And the glass mat is definitely a step up from that when I'm doing all the things. Stephanie says she'll sometimes use a large stamp image stamped off a couple of times. Oh, and then stamp your sentiment over it on the inside. That's a cute idea. Yeah, if I had a large butterfly stamp stamped off a couple of times and then stamp my sentiment over that would be really cute. But I don't have a large butterfly stamp. That's a cute idea. Thanks for sharing that. That is a good idea. So that is ink blending using stencils. Last week we did the ink blending with masking. And then the week before that, we did the Emboss Resist, the ink blending with the heat embossing with some white embossing powder. So kind of fun. They're all different. So I'll have to come up with something for next week. I don't know what we'll do next week. I'll come up with a new ink blending technique. If you are on my, I have a link. It says free Tuesday tutorials in the description. If you click on that, tomorrow I send out to my VIP email subscribers. Every Tuesday I send out a project recipe, a printed PDF. I should have printed one out for you guys to see, but I will send the project recipe with the step-by-step instructions for this card in my email tomorrow. So if you're not on there and you get on there before 5 a.m. tomorrow, if you sign up for those, you'll get the project list for this one, the project recipe. So that would be great. And I'll have all the information over on my blog, theplaidpoodle.com as well. Not the PDF. The PDF's only for my my VLPs, and it's free. It's free to sign up for that, so not a big deal. Okay, thank you guys. It was fun. Stay warm. I don't know. It's freezing here. It's still freezing. Go Chiefs. I don't know. Our team won last night. I was a little worried. Had a little bit of a anxiety. That was very stressful, but we're in it for one more week. So I think Kansas City's happy this morning, despite the icy roads. Okay, you all have a great day, and we'll see you next Monday for another Monday mini card class. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.